Hello and welcome back. In the first part of this series, we looked at the underpinnings of language, things that we need to be aware of, maybe tweaking cognitive awareness a little bit to start to think about symbolic language or symbolic use of things that we can create with our hands, things that we can look at, manipulate. And so in the second part, we are going to take that a step further and we're going to look a little bit more at language awareness. Okay, let's start with basic journaling. Now, in the first part, we did talk about coding in the sense that a child can learn to use symbolic language to generate meaning easily. And we use the example of an ice cream cone. It's easy to draw a picture of an ice cream cone to mean ice cream cone. And then in that sense, we can take it further and the child can learn to use other symbols, more extended symbols, to describe in more detail. And so journaling, whether you're using that kind of symbolic coding or actual words, is definitely a great idea. Every day, that child should be journaling. And then perhaps at the beginning it's difficult for them to do, and so do it in a way that's easier. As one example, you can do the typing for them. If you're really going to get into formal language and write it out, by all means write it out for them. But then at the same time, don't let them off the hook. They have to also produce some written language for you using symbols, for example. So if they don't know how to spell ice cream, they can use their symbol for ice cream, and maybe it's a circle with a stick on it, something like that, okay? Everything goes when it comes to language learning. Don't get stuck on anything in particular, but we want to get children to the point where they understand what we're talking about when we talk about language, that we're using those visual and auditory cues combined to create meaning, okay? So journaling, always journal. Word lists. As part of journaling, definitely work on word lists. What are some favorite words? And that can be anything, but it should be of great meaning to the child. So maybe it's grandpa or sister or the cat, or anything that's important to the child. It's not unusual to develop an extended list of vocabulary words for a child. Get them familiar with it, and that goes along with also letter practice. We talked about this in the first series of videos with respect to letter awareness. Practicing letters, it's absolutely critical that a child has awareness of each letter and be able to recall the sound and the shape of that letter automatically. And so any practice that you can do with letters in terms of feeling them, identifying them as we described in that first series, that would be very, very, very helpful. Okay, and so if you're having trouble with certain letters, by all means, practice those letters daily. Take those letters that are troublesome, put them in a bag, have the child feel around in the bag and identify them. Get to know the physical differences between the letters so that can match up with the visual patterning that they need to learn, okay? And so letters can and should be practiced daily, the difficult letters, all of the letters combined, and then narrow it down, have subsets of letters, but work on them. They must be mastered. And to that end, I just wanted to bring up this here. This is a Marsden Ball. It's a formal Marsden Ball. In another series of videos, we talk about ball and string, and this is one of the courses we do. But ball and string, we take basically, we show you how to create a Marsden ball, and fundamentally it's a ball with a string attached, and it's got letters on it. Now this is kind of a, it's nicely weighted, and it's got evenly spaced letters, and they're red-green, so we can use special goggles to see differentially between the left and right eye. That's great, but you don't need that. For about $1.06, and I say that, but for not a lot of money, you can go ahead and make one of these, and just a ball with a string. There's various ways of doing this. Go to your dollar store, go to the craft store, see what you can find, put stickers on it, put the letters on it. And at that point, what we're going to do is hang it from the ceiling, and we're going to push it around, and we're going to have the child identify a letter and touch that letter. As the ball is swinging around, we're going to have them look and touch and identify, tell them what to look for, but also have them touch and tell you what they're touching. Okay, it builds that automaticity while also developing very nice, strong visual skills. So that's a Marsden Ball. By all means, make one of these for yourselves at home, hang it from the ceiling, have some fun with it. Hang that ball from the ceiling and have it swing left and right, but also out and back in front of them. And then also you can put them on their back and have it swing around right in their face off the ceiling if you like. And in all those cases, what you can do is, again, just have them point to the letters, identify the letters, and all kinds of fun that you can have with that. Once again, building that letter recognition, automaticity is absolutely critical. Okay, next, read, read, read. Just read. Read with them. Read fun things, read scary things, read spooky things. If they like flowers, read about flowers. If they like cats, read about cats. I loved the Dr. Seuss books. They're graded. They start from very simple, Dr. Seuss's ABCs. It's fantastic. And then the series of books goes through an evolution of difficulty, but also of understanding. And so it can bring children to learn some things about life, the universe, and everything, if you like, and how to get along with people. In terms of strict language, that's really the important thing. And the author definitely knew what he was doing. He made the music lyrical. It rhymed. It was fun. The pictures were interesting. Read it. Big A, little a, what begins with A. It's fantastic. They'll remember it for the rest of their lives. And use your finger. Point with your finger as you're reading. Make sure that they know that your words, your sounds coming out of your mouth relates to what they're looking at the page. Okay? Along those lines, when you're reading, definitely use your source of reading. Use that content to build that vocabulary list. Just another hint for you. I used to have a lot of fun with my brother. We would look up difficult, complicated words, funny words, and we would bolster our vocabulary by using these ridiculously complicated words. Try it. Language can be a lot of fun. And along the same lines as with the Dr. Seuss books, let's talk about rhyming. Rhyming is just a lot of fun. Learn rhyming songs, clap along with the rhyming songs, print out the rhymes, print out the words on the page, point to how the words look the same sometimes, but also show how the words don't look the same, but they might sound the same. Rhyming is great. Just have lots of fun with the language. So that gives you a few ideas, things to do for formal language learning, but do it formally, make it fun, and regiment it. Do it daily, and there's no reason why you can't just carry around, for example, a notebook, a paper notebook, or a diary. Children love to have a nice formal little diary and they can write their words in that. But make it special. Make language special instead of just homework, another chore to do. We'll be back in the next section. We're going to talk a little bit more about some motor work, things that we can do to help with those little hands or hands that have difficulty getting the job done, coordinating, okay? A little bit more fun with finger work in our last part, our third part of this series on reading. We'll talk to you again real soon.